Starting today there with a few tastes and smells of some local street breakfast takeaways along the streets of Bangkok. I do admit to indulging in a very tasty piece of fried chicken basted in something very orange, but certainly delicious. Now in today's Thaiger News, hints of a possible return of the former Immigration Bureau poster boy Surachet Hakparn, a rise in the official speed limit for Thai highways, and foreigners told they can take part in protests. But first to a survey we posted this morning about what we might be able to do in drawing attention to the plight of the people in northern Thailand. Of course, we're referring to the air pollution problems. In asking the question, most of you thought we should keep up writing stories about the issue in the hopes of shaming the government into some action. The second most popular answer was the Thaiger spending a week in Chiang Mai to cover the story. So we've decided to do both. I'll be heading up to Chiang Mai on the week after next to deliver a first-hand account of the problems and see if we can find out whose door we need to knock on to get some action. Jet is in Chiang Mai today.
Hey Tiger fans, Jet here. I'm standing here at Rinkum intersection in Chiang Mai, one of the major intersections. And this here, usually you're supposed to see a view of the mountain, Doi Suthep, and you're supposed to see one of the famous temples in Chiang Mai, Wat Doi Suthep, around here, but obviously that's all been blocked by the smog. You can't even see the sky here, so pretty miserable conditions here in Chiang Mai right now. Back to you, Tim.
Thanks, Jet. Now, do I really want to subject myself to that level of air pollution? Not really, but there seems to be a general reluctance from the top to care much for the populations in the north of the country. So at the very least, we'll do our bit to draw attention to the matter. The Thai government has approved a reduction in the mandatory quarantine time for certain categories of visitors arriving from overseas. The National Committee on Communicable Diseases has approved the changes based on the fact that a global vaccination drive is leading to a gradual reduction in case numbers around the world. The following categories of international arrivals will be included in the reduced quarantine time, which varies from 7 to 10 days. Foreigners with a valid COVID-19 vaccination certificate no more than 3 months old and no less than 14 days old in possession of a negative COVID test result will only have to spend 7 days in quarantine. Returning Thai nationals with a valid COVID-19 vaccination certificate no more than 3 months old and no less than 14 days, but who do not have a negative COVID test, also 7 days in quarantine. Foreigners who have a negative COVID test result but no vaccination certificate, you'll need to do 10 days in an alternative state quarantine at your expense. And a reduction in the quarantine time won't apply to travellers from any part of the African continent. The Public Health Department cites the variant strains of COVID-19 in the continent as the reason for this decision. It's official, the maximum speed limit on 4-lane highways in Thailand has been increased to 120 kilometres per hour, with the new regulation published in the Royal Gazette yesterday. Previously, the official speed limit was 90 kilometres per hour, but if you drive on Thai highways, you would have thought that 120 kilometres per hour was the minimum speed limit most of the time. The Transport Minister says the increase in the maximum speed limit is aimed at improving the flow of traffic in line with conditions while keeping road users safe. The new limit applies only to highways with 4 lanes or more, at least 2 travelling in the same direction, divided by barriers. In the case of roads with traffic signs that indicate minimum and maximum speeds, drivers will have to adhere to those limits when traffic conditions and other circumstances allow. The increased speed limit will not apply to any roads which include intersections or U-turns. Motorcycles with engines less than 400cc will still be required to stay under 80 kilometres per hour, which is just as well because mine can barely get to 70. Thailand's Immigration Bureau has clarified the sticky question of foreign students attending fellow student protest events. The Bureau has confirmed that they can take part in political gatherings provided they follow the law. The news comes after the Asian Institute of Technology sent an email to its students saying that it respected freedom of speech but was conveying a request from the Thai immigration for foreign students not to join protests. The email also allegedly told students they could risk losing their visas if they were found to be participating in such gatherings. The email also allegedly said they could be blacklisted from Thailand if they were caught, citing the Immigration Bureau. But the Immigration Commissioner has now said it was possibly a misunderstanding. He says that the Immigration Bureau has never issued an order to ban foreign students from political gatherings. He said, "We only want them to be careful about the pandemic. The Bureau understands well about people's rights under the Thai Constitution." Thai media is getting all frothy amid rumours of the imminent return of their former favourite, Surachet Hakparn, the Royal Thai policeman and immigration chief who fell from grace 2 years ago now. Lieutenant General Surachet Hakparn was sacked from the position as Commissioner of the Immigration Bureau back in 2019 and sidelined to shuffling papers in the PM's office, effectively ending his police career. Also known as Big Joke, he'd been the Assistant Commissioner of the Tourist Police when he conducted almost daily press briefings parading his catch of expats and foreigners who they'd found overstaying their visas or conducting some sort of transnational crime. But he obviously upset someone further upline and was savagely demoted with little offered in the way of reasons for his demotion. Anyway, the Thai media will be very happy to see him back, if indeed that happens. There was no hint as to what job he might be doing if he gets to put back on the brown uniform again. Bangkok's Wat Arun is going all green on St Patrick's Day. Plenty of iconic landmarks around the world will celebrate St Patrick's Day by going green on March the 17th, and Thailand's most famous temple will not be left out. Also turning green, with green hues being projected onto the building, will be the Thailand Cultural Centre, the Conrad Hotel, the Irish Embassy on Wireless Road, and the All Seasons Place Shopping Centre. The Irish Embassy in Bangkok has announced the campaign on its Facebook page and thanked local officials and businesses for their participation. Other famous landmarks joining in this year include the Sydney Opera House in Australia, the London Eye in the UK, the Leaning Tower of Pisa in Italy, and Niagara Falls in the US. Thailand is famous for celebrating just about anything and everything, both religious and secular, and it seems even the most sacred of Buddhist temples is not being spared the St Patrick's Day fever this year. Time to check out the air and the weather around Thailand today, starting off in the capital, where it's registering as unhealthy for sensitive groups. 103 the measurement for Friday and Saturday. Cloudy conditions, top temperatures of 34 and 35. Down in Phuket, good clean air today. The temperatures around 29 and some possible thunderstorms in parts of the island. To the northeast, Nakhon Ratchasima, where we've got unhealthy air. 117 is the reading. Friday and Saturday's weather, both 37 on both days, and we've got some sunny skies. Chiang Mai certainly still suffering the worst of the air pollution in Thailand. 184 is the measurement in the city today. Checking out the weather for Friday and Saturday, 39 on both days. Very hot, sunny skies. To Cha Am and Phetchaburi province in the central Gulf of Thailand coast, the reading is moderate. Friday and Saturday the weather will be cloudy tomorrow and sunny on Saturday, top temperatures of 31 on both days. And to Pattaya, also moderate pollution in that area today. For tomorrow a little bit worse, and on Saturday back to moderate again. The temperatures there 30 and 31, some possible showers and thunderstorms. So that is some of the main stories from around Thailand today. Jet will be doing the program from Chiang Mai tomorrow. I think we've been promising that all week. In the meantime, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to the channel. That really helps us along as we try to get the program more popular and more watched, not only by expats, but people outside of Thailand as well. In the meantime, you are up to date on the Thaiger.